Alright, guys. It finally happened. The streak is over. And I'm not talking about Golden State dropping a game. I'm talking about the Philly area. 76ers finally got their first W against the Los Angeles Lakers. My bad, Kobe's Lakers. Alright. So even though they got their first win, hats off to them, nobody's talking about the 76ers victory. Everybody's talking about the living legend Kobe Bryant and his retirement. What do you have to say about his retirement, or how do you feel about his play right now and the whole spectacle that is Kobe's retirement?
I'm so glad he announced his retirement, because the thing is, let's say he was going to retire next year and only he knew. It wouldn't be as epic as it is right now. I'm glad he announced it to the world, because when he goes out to the arenas now, everything is completely sold out and everyone is there to watch him. They don't care about who else is playing on that home court. It's Kobe.
Right.
That's what they want to see. So it goes to show, like in this game, what happened was he took the first 6 consecutive shots for the team, and the Philadelphia crowd was just loving it.
Well, I think he did it because he's from Philly, so he just had to get a little notice at the start.
Yeah, that's true. Like it was just unbelievable. He took the first 5 or 6 shots. He's made a few of them. Yeah. Every single time he would score it, the crowd was going absolutely crazy. And I don't think Philadelphia sold out in the first, or what do you call it, at home.
They haven't sold out all season. Okay, let me put it that way.
Yeah, they haven't sold out, but just because Kobe's in town, of course it's going to sell. It's going to be the last time he's playing in Philadelphia. And it goes for all the cities that he's going to be visiting.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the ones he's going to be going on the road, it's the last time he's going to go there.
Yeah, but it's a shame to see him in his form currently. You
know?
I respect the guy. He's a legend, but his body's really betrayed him. He has no legs under his shot. He doesn't play defense. He just gets frustrated because he can't hit the jumpers he's been hitting, his entire career. But that being said, Father Time is undefeated except for against Tim Duncan. Everybody knows that. But, hats off to Kobe because he's a legend. But I got to say, I feel really bad for his teammates.
Yeah.
They got to go through another 65 games with him shooting 30 shots. And it's kind of just like a rodeo show. Just to see, Kobe last time plus 4 other scrubs. That's what it feels like.
And they can't do anything about it either, because this is the last time he's going to be playing in arenas, and people are buying tickets to watch Kobe do what he's going to do. So Nick Young and all of them, they can't complain. D'Angelo Russell. This is Kobe's last year. No one has a problem with what he's going to be doing for the next 60 plus games.
But the thing is, they can't develop this
They can't.
way. It's like,
they can't develop.
Here's your 30 shots, Kobe.
Exactly. No, they can't develop. And there's nothing they could do besides request a trade. There's absolutely nothing they can do. The organization's not going to do anything about it.
Well, they're still making so much money off Kobe. Yeah. That's it's fine. We'll take the season as a wash. This is Kobe's going away party. He's going to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, the only thing that's going to be detrimental is the current players that are on his roster. But at this point, there's absolutely nothing that can be done to fix that. This whole year, it's just going to be for Kobe. But he's such a showman. I can't, this guy will sell out arenas just for being there. He shoots 2 for 30. It doesn't matter. It's Kobe Bryant. He's going to fill out arenas no matter what he does.
We're talking about Kobe.
We're talking about Kobe. He's just one of the most exciting players just because of mystique, not even because of what he does on the court. You just see him. Even if he was sitting on the bench wearing his suit.
You'd be like, yo, it's Kobe.
Yeah, people would look at him, they try to get a picture and all that. He's just the definition of celebrity in terms of basketball player. People idols you look up to.
It's just sad that this is going to be the last memories of a lot of people for Kobe, especially for the newer fans. The younger ones. They didn't see what this man has done and accomplished in his career, and then their only lasting image of him is going to be some old dude just shooting terribly.
Yeah, whereas Tim Duncan, if it's the younger viewers watching, they see Tim Duncan that he's still dominating the game like he was doing 10 years ago at this age.
Yeah,
so
but that's another that's
it kind of sucks.
It kind of sucks, but it just shows how great the Spurs organization is and how great of a player Tim Duncan is.
Yeah, it does. And then the fact that Lakers lost to Philadelphia, broke their 0-18 streak.
Yeah, but nobody cares about that though, right? It's nobody's talking about it. But it has to be
against Kobe. Yeah, I know what you mean. No one's
really... in the record books, nobody's gonna talk about this really. It's just gonna be like, this season was his last season, and he did X, Y, and Z. He's gonna have, a few good plays here and there, and then but Kobe's last top 10 players of the season.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Anyways, I think we talked about this enough. We both respect Kobe. We think he's a great player, and we hope we wish him all the best. But it's time to move on. We still have a real season here, guys. Great. Retirements aside, we're gonna talk about the first 18, 19 games of the season, about a quarter ways in. And all right, we're gonna start off about the biggest disappointments this season. I'll start it off with you, MF. Who has disappointed you this season?
Although New Orleans is 4-14, which to most people, which is absolutely terrible. To most people, it would be the biggest surprise to them, the biggest disappointment, but not to me. If you guys remember in the pre-season Western Conference preview, I was saying that Anthony Davis isn't as good as everybody thinks he is.
It's not his fault.
It is his fault.
It's not his fault. His team is junk.
Yeah, but he's the best player on the team.
And the rest of his players are always injured.
Yeah.
He's injured. Like, what do you want from one man?
I want a lot from that one man.
He's injured half of the season.
It doesn't matter. When he's on the court, he gets cleared to play. If he's telling everybody he's playing, I expect him to do more. If he's getting player efficiency ratings that's crazy and everyone's picking up first on fantasy and saying he's a top 3 player in the world, then I expect him to win more games, even in the Western Conference, by himself. But that's not my biggest disappointment. Although they're 4-14, my biggest disappointment in the season so far is Houston, because they're 7 wins, 11 losses, and I thought they were going to be a lot better than that, led by James Harden, my MVP before the season started, though I changed to Russell Westbrook. That's a whole different topic, but there's still a lot of time left to make up for their lethargic start, and I think they're gonna start winning games. But they just got to figure things out.
They already used one scapegoat. They fired their coach.
They did.
It wasn't his fault.
I think that was a bad decision, but they needed to do something just to make people think that
Harden's not playing defense anymore. He was playing defense kind of last season. He stopped playing defense. People are getting annoyed at him because he takes so many shots, disrupts the flow of his offense.
Yeah.
His players, they're never in rhythm to shoot because he has the ball. He's on the line all game.
That's the same thing with Anthony Davis, though.
Dwight Howard doesn't play back-to-back games.
Yeah, but that's the same thing with Anthony Davis, though. Like, if he's the one who's taking all the shots, never making plays, his teammates are never going to get involved. Even though they're not as good as other teams.
Yeah, but his bench and team is way worse than the Rockets roster.
Yeah, but their team. But then, arguably, Anthony Davis is better than James Harden, though. Most people think he's better.
Yeah, but he has more help. Okay,
not me, guys.
the more help he has, got them the 3 extra wins from 4 games that the Pelicans won and the 7 games.
Yeah, but Anthony Davis is...
Might I remind you of Jason Terry's heroics to get them 1 win?
Yeah, but New Orleans
nobody in New Orleans is doing that.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because Anthony Davis is better than James Harden. He should be getting more wins. That's just how simple it is.
Okay, don't get me wrong. They're a disappointment, but I just don't think it's solely on Anthony Davis.
James Harden's team, aside from just him, it's still not that good.
Well, at least he has some notable players.
LeBron had 66 wins with a team that's worse than the Pelicans. The side players were worse than them.
I don't know, man. They were pretty bad.
Yeah, and he got 66 wins with them. Or no, I think it was 67 actually. That's
but are you saying that LeBron at that time he was probably better than these 2 players?
Yeah, but
Anthony did play in the East.
But Anthony Davis, people are saying he's really up to par with LeBron even now.
He plays in the West. The East was still weak when LeBron was playing.
Yeah, but if LeBron was in the West still, he would dominate. It doesn't matter if he's on the East.
Of course it does.
He has the
easiest road to the finals.
Yeah,
that's
in the playoffs, not the regular season.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He can just make the playoffs with under 500 wins in the East.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter when he's versing the Western Conference. His record in the last 20 games is 19-1.
Yeah, because he plays them once every 6 games. He doesn't have to play West players night in, night out.
This whole Eastern is way worse than the West. It's all baloney. It seriously is. Not. Yeah, it is. You look at the West versus East head-to-heads. They're closer than everybody thinks they are.
Yeah, but talent-wise, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for the regular season. You put East versus West in a playoff.
Yeah, in the playoffs.
But
most
of the West teams are gonna come out.
But we're not talking about the playoffs. This is the regular season. New Orleans should be winning more games. So same with Houston, and the Eastern Conference. They beat Western Conference teams. Like
maybe on like back-to-backs and stuff. But
no, if OKC is visiting Orlando, they give them a really hard time. It's just that simple.
Well, whatever. Because for me, neither of those teams are the biggest disappointment.
Okay.
For me, even though the Los Angeles Clippers are 10-8, I think it's a huge disappointment. They're close to 500. There's so much hype on this team. The best Clippers roster in Clippers history.
Yeah.
You know, with a prime, a Blake Griffin in his prime, CP3, they got all these crazy bench players, and they're 10-8.
Yeah, but
you know, I said before the season.
You did.
That they have the biggest pressure of any team, and they're crumbling.
They are crumbling, but it's only the beginning of the season, though. 10-8 is not setting themselves up for losing a playoff spot. As long as they get in the playoffs,
yeah, but
they have a legitimate
record
shot.
is one thing, but if you watch them play, they don't look very good.
Especially
and DeAndre
late
Jordan
in games,
is just like he just tied the record for the most free throws missed. Like there's something wrong with this team, and they're supposed to win a title.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's a lot of time left in the season to kind of get that back together. But when you look at New Orleans with 4-14, they're not even going to make the playoffs. At least if Clippers are a type of team that they have enough talent that if they're at 8th, they have a legitimate shot. Same with the Spurs, OKC, Golden State, Cleveland. They're just 8th. That's good enough to be in title contention.
No, whereas, I don't know about this year. If they're 8th, they're facing Golden State.
Yeah, but if they were going to win a title, they have to beat them. Like anyways.
Yeah, but they can't get into playoff form in the first round if they face Golden State. They're probably going to get knocked out.
If they're playing like the way they are now.
Yeah.
But there's still 60 games left.
Well, this is speculation for all the games that have been played.
Yeah. And the problem is right now, Golden State hasn't even... that's another thing. But in terms of surprises, though, for the season, of course, New Orleans, Houston, Clippers, even Washington.
Yeah.
Those are pretty big surprises. But to me, the number one biggest surprise in all of the NBA right now is Golden State at 19-0. Because before the season started, my Western Conference prediction, I was saying that Golden State is going to have less wins than their projected value, which was about 59.5 wins for the season. They're going to absolutely shatter that, and they're going to shatter the Bulls' 72-10 record, and they're going to get 41-0 at home, which is an MFA exclusive prediction.
That's a lot of speculation.
It's not speculation.
That's a lot of speculation.
This is fact. And Curry's going to win the MVP, which you called.
I called that.
And
that's
he's gonna,
easy call, yeah.
He's going to win it.
At this pace, it's not even close.
The only way is if he starts losing games, which I don't think is going to happen because they're going to go 41-0 at home. And then
I swear, they're going to go on a little mini losing streak. And then the whole narrative's going to change.
It's not going to change because they're not going to go on that losing streak.
They're going to go on the losing streak.
No. They don't even play good teams ever. Okay, look at another thing. They're in the Western Conference. They don't play good teams.
It's because their division is weak.
Yeah, but it's not just their division, though. They play teams that aren't in their division, that are like nobodies. They're like versing... They had like an Eastern Conference trip, too, which was like 7 games in a row.
They dodged like 5 bullets this season. Brooklyn just yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
They dodged Jazz.
Think about that. Brooklyn, the worst team in the Eastern Conference.
Worst team.
The second team in the Eastern Conference. And they're beating the best team in the Western Conference, the stronger conference. They should have beat them. They were like 99% chance to win at that one point.
The game was in Brook Lopez's hands.
Yeah, and Iguodala fluked that shot. That's a whole other thing.
All skill.
No, man, he's like double clutched in the air.
Hang time for days.
You know, so that's just, I don't know. They're surprising to me. 19-0, and they're still gonna win another 9 games.
It's surprising because they're 19-0, but a lot of the games you watch, they've been sloppy and they're just pulling it out.
Yeah,
pulling out of their
Every team is just afraid of them. You know.
I think that's what it is.
And when I'm watching it on TV...
They're afraid of Curry, I think, right? And
anytime someone shoots them, I'm thinking it's going in. And it does.
Yeah.
It's like you think it's going in.
However, Harrison Barnes went out with the ankle injury. Yeah. So their lineup right now is significantly weaker.
Yeah, to
me...
So
if their streak is going to be broken, I think it's going to be... If not when he comes back, or just before he comes back.
Yeah, but they're not versing any good teams until then. That's the only problem.
Yeah, but
the next good team is
and
against
Utah
Cleveland.
Are giving him a run for their money.
Yeah,
some other random team.
Well,
might be their night.
According to the odds makers, they still favor Golden State pretty heavily. Even on the road, they're 9-point favorites against at least anybody.
Well, yeah,
anybody, right? So what happens is aside from them, like San Antonio is 14-4. They were projected to have about 61 wins for the season. They're pretty much on kind of pace to get that.
Yeah, Kawhi's really taken a big role for the Spurs this season.
Yeah, he really has.
But I think they're only going to get better with time. The more LaMarcus Aldridge figures out how to fit in with his team, the more they gel, the scarier they're going to become. They're not even in their final form yet, if you so to speak.
Yeah, they're not the Frieza's like ultimate form yet. Yeah. No, they haven't transformed.
Yeah, they're still charging up for about 40 episodes.
Yeah. They haven't absorbed Android 16 or 17 yet. No, so the thing about them is I always thought that LaMarcus Aldridge is overrated, and I still do. Mm-hmm. But the fact remains that San Antonio just has the perfect system, and Kawhi Leonard is tearing it right now. And they have
But isn't it awesome,
David
though?
West.
Like, there is no ratings for players in the Spurs system. So you can take a supposedly overrated player, in your opinion, you plug him in the Spurs. Nobody talks about LaMarcus Aldridge anymore.
That's
they
true.
They just talk about the Spurs getting wins.
And do you remember Corey Joseph was a great player on them? He went to Toronto. He scored that game-winning shot the other day.
Yeah. But he worked his tail off.
Yeah, right? But they just breed winners. Like, it's just unbelievable how their environment, their culture just wins.
OKC drafts amazing talent. Spurs breed winners.
Yeah, they do. They really do. They breed the championships.
Mm-hmm. But I think you're forgetting one team in terms of surprises.
Okay.
And that's the Indiana Pacers.
Oh, man.
People were like, maybe they're a playoff team, maybe they're not. Right now, they're sitting at 11-5. Paul George looks as good as ever, as if he never shattered and snapped his leg like it was a twig.
And he's fourth on the most recent NBA players ladder.
Yeah.
Which is insane. His PER is through the roof.
This is my squad, and I was kind of counting them out in the preseason.
But now...
And I am pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
The only problem is they need to find a second option. Because Paul George takes so many shots a game.
He does, but he's scoring so many of them.
Yeah, but Monte Ellis, before he would take a lot more shots, but now he averages like 7 to 8. So maybe he needs to get a little bit more aggressive.
I always had a problem with George Hill as well, but he's surprising me this year. I don't know if it was that haircut he got when he dyed his hair or something.
Cisco look at the Chris Brown.
Yeah, the Chris Brown type of thing, but it's been... I think that's helping him.
It's been working.
Like, he's got to keep it up because this guy's playing good. I always thought he was...
Yeah, but they still have a couple of problems. They don't have a rim defender right now. Their center spot is super weak. They do play kind of fast ball.
Jan Mahimi's aight.
He's
aight. He's aight. He's not bad. Like, it's okay. Like, he always came off the bench for Hibbert and played pretty good basketball.
But then they need lots of minutes, right? Like, I wouldn't take him in a starting, like crunch time. It's like
if
he's high, but he's not nice like that,
If they had David West still, this would be a legitimate threat in the East. But since they don't...
They're still a threat in the East.
They're still a threat in the East, but not in the way that they could be.
Yeah, well, especially how a lot of more strong East teams kind of fell off or are struggling, such as Washington.
And Atlanta as well, yeah.
Atlanta's doing all right, but they just weren't... no, they're still doing fine. They're just not having as hot of a start as they did last season. Yeah. But nobody expected it.
But there's still a lot lower projections than they
should be, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
same with the Raptors, though, right?
But the team that's leading...
is Kyle Lowry. I'm just going to put that out there.
Kyle Lowry's a terrible player. I don't know why.
He's not a terrible player. He's just not a clutch player. You can't put him in clutch time.
See, I think he's a terrible player. Not even just clutch. I think he's a detriment to the Toronto Raptors.
And JV needs more touches, for sure.
And DeMar DeRozan isn't even that good either. You know what I would suggest? They somehow trade both of them and get Wiggins. And like Rubio or something, Those two for Wiggins and Rubio. That would be great.
I don't know, man.
But I don't think Minnesota would allow that.
I think some fans in Toronto might crucify you for speaking such blasphemy.
Well, I'm gonna be in the 6 pretty soon.
So if you got a problem with MF, find him in the 6, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the Raptors game when Kobe visits. When I heard that Kobe, he's retiring.
Yeah, you dropped everything.
I had to drop everything I did. I got tickets to the game. I'm flying out to Toronto because it's gonna be the last time he's playing in Canada. Come on. I'm a huge fan of basketball.
That's true. It's true.
That's why I dropped everything I did. I'm going to the game, and I'm gonna see Lowry, first person in the flesh, lose to Kobe Bryant.
Right.
He's gonna turn it over, Lowry. And I'm gonna heckle him. I'm gonna be wearing a Vancouver Grizzlies hat with an Oklahoma City like Thunder Westbrook jersey.
All right, boys.
Like,
You got
like-
the profile, man. You got a problem with MF? Look
Yeah.
for the guy with the Grizzlies hat and the OKC jersey.
It's just that simple, like, you know? Like Kyle Lowry, even DeMar DeRozan, I just don't think they're great players.
I think DeMar DeRozan's a great second option player. They need the guy, though, in Toronto.
Yeah, they
And,
do.
Right
They
now,
need a
as it
real
stands,
talent.
Corey Joseph is my favorite Raptor.
Yeah.
And they need to get... JV fractured his hand, but he needs more touches, man.
Yeah, he's
For all the
playing
work
really
he-
damn well.
For all the
Yeah.
work he does on the defensive end, he needs... Reward the big guy. Come on, guys.
Yeah. But we are missing, or like, we're leaving out the best team in the East. The Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James. I gotta drop his name a few times.
Right, but it's not a surprise nor disappointment. It's
Yeah.
just more of the same.
They're at 13-5. They did drop today's game against Washington.
Mm-hmm.
Their first loss at home this season. And, you know, LeBron had a big problem with how his team's efforts
Right.
were. Again, he's on the
The
interview.
thing is, I was watching this game, but it makes me nervous because matchup-wise, when they play against small, quick teams, they don't match up well.
So you're
And-
implying Golden State.
but who's
Okay.
exactly who's the best small, fast, quick team? Golden
Yeah.
State.
But with Shumpert back in the lineup and Kyrie Irving,
I don't like
That'll
that.
help.
I don't like
That'll
those
help.
assumptions though. You can't just insert them after they come back from injury and just assume that they're gonna be the same players they were.
you know,
And they
I
just
have,
mesh in chemistry-wise perfectly.
I have faith in LeBron James. He's gonna mesh them together. He's gonna do it.
Yeah,
like,
but
himself.
Shumpert's been out for a while, so he's gonna
Yes.
have probably some conditioning. He needs to shake off the rust.
Yep.
And he just has a terrible handle naturally. He always does the and one dribbling, just dribbles it out of bounds.
Like Blake Griffin style, yes.
yeah, the Blake Griffin and one moves.
But
Who knows with Kyrie Irving? This kneecap fracture could be quite a serious injury, right?
yeah, but that's what the regular season is for.
Yeah, but
Assuming
when
he
are they
comes-
gonna come back,
Okay,
and
they
how long
dropped-
will it take?
They dropped the Uncle Drew Pepsi commercial.
Yeah, but they
which
filmed that
leads-
before.
No, which leads me to believe he is coming soon. No, they released it at that time because I think they're setting up for the Christmas game. Like no, it's actually away on the road in Golden State.
Yeah, but you said they're not gonna lose that game because they're going 41-0.
Yeah,
So what
but-
if he comes back and loses? It's like, oh, great return, Kyrie.
Yeah,
you lost.
But what if it's in like
You lost in the finals.
But what if it's like in a nail biter, like Game 1 of last year? That would be an epic. That would be like a moral victory because in the finals.
Yeah, but we're talking about championships. We're not talking about moral victories.
This is the regular season. It doesn't matter who wins the game.
Of course it does.
It just sets up for the actual finals if it happens to be them two again. It'll be in their head. It's a bit, oh man, they almost beat us at home.
Yeah, well,
type
they
of
got
thing.
some serious adjustments to do if they have trouble with the struggling Washington.
Yeah.
Because they were getting destroyed in points in the paint by Gortat, and John was just blowing by all the guards.
Yeah.
It wasn't
that's-
even close.
that's the thing.
It was layup drills for John Wall today.
That's the thing about the regular season. Honestly, like, I'm a huge LeBron fan. Like the regular season is just trivial. Like the last 4 seasons he's been into the finals.
Right.
Every game just feels like it's meaningless.
Yeah, but
right
what do
now.
you feel about David Black? I was watching them struggle today,
Yeah.
right? They're not running any sets.
They
It's
didn't run any sets.
Give the ball to LeBron and hope good things happen.
See, when the game is
You can
tight,
only go so far giving LeBron the ball.
And you
hoping
can go
good things-
far.
You go far, but
You
like,
go really far,
but
really,
we're talking
really far.
But we're talking about winning right now, right?
Yeah.
Winning it all. You can't win it all most of the time if you just
Yeah.
give it to LeBron.
But what
they
the
kind of
problem is,
almost did, but not really.
when you watch games that are really, really tight against, or when Cleveland's playing, and they have timeouts at the end of a game, the sets they run are actually, like I've noticed, they are a lot better than they were last year. I see they're doing certain things, freeing up Kevin Love.
But
or
why don't they
freeing
run
up
the
J.R.
sets
Smith.
usually so
Because-
it's not a tight game?
No, because you can't
blow teams
No,
out.
because you can't run those sets all the time during the games because they're gonna learn those sets. The ones that are gonna guarantee you at least a really good look are the ones you can't be showing off.
At least have some basic ones and don't just give it to
It's-
LeBron and hope he creates
It's like
something.
it's like a closer in MLB. You can't just put him in the middle of a game because everyone's gonna know how he pitches. You want to keep him a secret, like Roberto Osuna from the Toronto. I know I'm dropping Toronto a lot. That, like you know, I'm not from there. You know.
Yeah, but
everyone thinks I am.
the problem is you're putting up so much pressure on LeBron to get them through the regular season. Is he gonna run out of gas again?
Yeah, that's the one concern I genuinely do
You know,
have.
if you have all these
Yeah.
close games, night in, night out,
Yeah.
he has to play heavy minutes. They're trying to reduce his minutes this season. It's not happening that well.
It's not, but that's the one
Everybody
thing.
knows he has that tight back already. He gets cramps. He's easily dehydrated. If he has to, put all this workload in the regular season, he's already gonna be tired. But if he gets to the finals,
that's the biggest concern. Yeah, of course. If he keeps playing heavy minutes, then that's a big problem. Even if they lose a lot of games, but sit out LeBron for a majority of the time, I think that's better than winning the games, but LeBron played too many of the minutes. Because let's face it, they can win against any team in the East without home court advantage. When they get to the finals, assuming it's against Golden State, they're not going to get home court advantage no matter what.
Yeah.
So, so to me, sacrificing a win for just saving LeBron's minutes a little bit is more worth it than actually winning the game.
Yeah, it's probably a little too early to be talking about strategic, like sitting LeBron. It is only 20 games in. But, all that being said, Cleveland still has an immaculate record, 13-5 right now. But, these are legitimate problems I see that need to be addressed. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, but as it stands right now, Golden State 19-0, and I don't see them losing until the most difficult game of recent is going to be the LeBron game on Christmas in Golden State. That's going to be the biggest test, and I'm looking forward to that. But as far as I'm concerned, they're going to win every single game leading up to that, which would put them at 28-0.
All right, we'll just finish off with a little segment. Any specific players that surprised or disappointed you so far in this season?
Yeah, James Harden is a huge disappointment this year.
Right into it.
Yeah, he's shooting just like all-time lows right now.
And not playing defense.
And he's not playing defense. His free throws numbers aren't as much as they were last year, and that's his bread and butter. To me, he's the biggest, just such a disappointment. But in terms of surprises, not only that, on the other side of things, Steph Curry surprising me. He's having the greatest PER, player efficiency rating, of all time right now.
Yeah, but he has the greatest team of all time.
He does have the greatest team of all time, and they're going to beat the 72-10 Bulls. But with that being said, I believe in the PER stat. I truly do. I don't believe in defensive efficiency rating, but PER I do. And he is shattering the world record. If he keeps it up to the end of the season, this will be the greatest regular season from any player ever in the NBA.
Yeah, well, let's see. For me, one of the biggest surprises is the resurgence of Rajon Rondo. Everybody wrote this guy out, and I think he's leading the league in triple-doubles right now.
He is leading the league in triple-doubles, more than Russell Westbrook.
That's right. Sacramento, they have, a whole slew of issues, but Rajon Rondo, everybody counted him out after he just gave up on the Mavs. Great comeback, and obviously Paul George, because that's my guy.
Yeah, that's your guy.
But he came back stronger than I even thought he would.
Yeah, Rajon Rondo, I counted him out, and I'm still not sold yet, but he's definitely surprising me, and Paul George as well.
So would you say DeAndre Jordan is a surprise or disappointment?
He's about the same to me.
He's about the same, but he's missing more free throws. This team has, he's still doing his crazy alley-oop stuff.
He's playing really good defense still, though.
Yeah, but his value is so... There's like an asterisk to his value because he can't finish games. He can't shoot free throws.
Yeah, that's a huge problem,
how can you get paid so much money, miss so many free throws, and not close out a game? So... maybe Dallas dodged a bullet.
Yeah, maybe they did.
Serendipity at its finest.
Well, as of right now, I don't think Dallas is regretting losing him at all because they're winning games as of right now. Everybody thought they were going to have a below 500 record, but they're well above. Well, not well above, but they're above. So that's it.
Fair enough. And also, let's say Andre Drummond, great surprise.
Yeah, he is a great surprise.
Any players that are kind of disappointing you?
To me, it's pretty well Anthony Davis, but I wasn't too big on him in the first place, so not so much. But James Harden to me. James
Harden?
That's number one. I can't really think of anybody else.
You can't think of anybody else. Let me ask you, how do you feel about former MVP Derrick Rose's current performance of the season?
See, the reason why I'm not surprised or disappointed whatsoever is because I measured him.
You fully expected this.
I expected him to have a terrible season in terms of shooting percentage, especially. He's shooting like 33% from the field. Like every single time you look at the box score, he's 4 for 11, 4 for 13,
the double vision,
7 for 28.
The double vision.
It's just terrible.
No, but honestly, I'm really disappointed in D Rose too. I think I just put too much faith in him. In our predictions, I said, he was in a great position to have a bounce back season. He knew his body was ready for a full season, blah, blah, blah. But it's like he's just not the same guy, and he's unwilling to adapt his game. And he has terrible shooting, and then even the city of Chicago is, their patience is wearing thin too.
They need to get rid of him.
Yeah, but who's going to take him in this current form?
No one's going to take him. His contract is going to end, and no one's going to sign him for a fraction of his contract was.
All right, take him to the Spurs and save his career?
Take him to like a chiropractor or something. I don't know. He's just a bad.
Put him in the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah.
Maybe, right?
Give him some sensu beans. That's the only way to cure this guy. He's just not a good player right now. He's not helping the Bulls. He's making them worse.
He's being a big detriment.
He is. Because Butler, he's getting in the way of Butler and Mirotic and Gasol. That's what he's doing. And his defense is pretty bad. I'm just sick of this guy. He won MVP. It got to his head. He shouldn't even have won MVP that year. It should have been LeBron.
I've opened a can of worms that I should not have.
LeBron should have won MVP that year. It would have been like so many consecutive MVPs, but it should have been. So.
Well, I think that's more than enough NBA news for this podcast, guys. MFA is still riled up about the D-Rose thing.
Well, yeah.
It's just, don't worry, man. We'll talk about it next time, all right?
But if you guys do want to catch me, though, I'll be in Toronto in a few days when the Lakers visit. I'm going for Kobe. I'm going to be there. So holla at MFA, WBR Podcast, guys. You know who it is.
All right, guys. This is it. WBR out.
Yeah.